So what is value investing? Value investing does not mean buying something cheap. People misconstrue or confuse value investing with buying something at a cheap price. No, that's not necessarily the case. Now, something can be cheap, and you could be a value investor buying it cheap, but no, right? Value investing is finding something to invest in that is undervalued by definition. Right? Undervalued to where the market is currently pricing it at. So for example, let's say Bitcoin or even Ethereum, right? In this case, let's use Bitcoin as an example. Let's say Bitcoin is trading, the market is pricing it at $2,000. And based on your own analysis, you believe that Bitcoin is worth, in the next few years, $100,000. That by definition means that it is undervalued, right? Because if you believe Bitcoin is going to $100,000 and is currently trading at $2,000, you have a 50x growth opportunity right there. That's by definition called value investing. Now, on the other hand, one other example to really hit home what value investing is, let's say you believe Bitcoin is worth, in that same example, $100,000. But let's say your analysis ends up being on point, ends up being perfect, but Bitcoin is trading at $200,000. What does that mean? That means Bitcoin is overvalued. So one thing to note with both examples, value investing is really about where you believe something is worth versus the market. It has nothing to do with the asset itself. Even though you do use the asset, the fundamentals of the asset for your analysis, you do not really, once it becomes overvalued, you take profits and you get out, right? So in that same example, right, those two examples, one example, Bitcoin was undervalued. The other example, Bitcoin was overvalued. Why is that so important to understand? That means you can't just say Bitcoin is undervalued for the rest of its life. That's not the case. You have to do it based on the actual analysis, right? So let me bring up my screen once again, right? So for those of you who saw CNBC, I was actually on TV talking about this. And all the Bitcoin maximalists did not like it because for the first time they had an Ethereum bull on CNBC telling people, hey, Bitcoin is great technology, but its days are almost over. Now, I wouldn't say almost over, but the CNBC people kind of used the clickbait title. But this video is already doing pretty well. Already has over 80,000 views on YouTube in less than a week. So CNBC said that they might have me back on, right? But this is the same narrative. Like, is Bitcoin undervalued or overvalued? I would say Bitcoin, compared to other asset classes like stocks, equities, legacy markets, yes, it's undervalued. But our job is we're trying to hit those home runs, right? So the calculus I do is yes, Bitcoin is undervalued, but are there any other assets that are even more undervalued than Bitcoin? And that's where Ethereum comes in. That's where other altcoins come in. And that's why we go through and we find hidden gems. And to go through and really showcase why times like this, yes, during crashes, why times like this, it pays to be a value investor. If we go through my personal YouTube channel, let's start with Matic Network. So if you just go here, this is my personal channel, which I've had for since 2016 doing crypto, right? I've had interviews on here, but basically the best example is with Polygon. I'm trying to find a Polygon video. It was the India World Tour. Let me see if I can find it here. Give me 1 second. India World Tour. Yes, right? So this is a live stream from India, right? For those on IG, go follow along at youtube.com/Token Metrics. So Matic Network, now Polygon, won this pitch competition in Hyderabad, India. Check the tape here, right? This was August 2nd, 2018. Was basically when we discovered Matic Network, right? Let me even see if we can find them actually winning or pitching. Right? But this was actually a great trip. Yes, right there. Right, this is the Matic Network team. This is Sandeep. August 2nd, 2018. This was essentially during what people would call a bear market, when crypto was not so good, right? So from August 2018 to where Matic is now, for example, if we go to Polygon, right? Matic Polygon, looking at their ROI, this is a 429x return since inception, right? And if you got in, okay, I'm not sure what's going on here, but anyway, even by this other measure, over 351x return. So basically, if you got Matic, or if you knew about it from back in August 2nd, 2018, because their token hadn't even launched yet. Their token launched a year later through Binance, through a Binance IEO. But this was basically through a crash, through when people thought altcoins were dead, nobody was touching altcoins, it was the end of the world, everything's going to zero, but there was still value to be had, right? So this is one real world example of a project during a crash, during a bear market, that has delivered significant returns to investors, right? Significant returns. So looking at this, over 400x return. And this is after a crash. I mean, because Matic went to 262 all-time high 5 days ago, right? It's already corrected 60% because of the whole crypto crash. But in times like this, you do not want to be panicking. You want to be doing your research and finding the next 100x and the next 1000x possibly. And Matic Polygon is one example of that. Okay, then the other example, Helium Network. So if we go back to my personal YouTube channel as well, let's look up Helium. And by the way, for those who are new, in terms of what this means for ROI, that means if you had put $1,000 into Polygon, you would have turned that to over $400,000. Just think about that. $1,000 times 429x, $429,000, basically $430,000. Now imagine if you had put in 20 grand. Right? If you had put in 20 grand, let me do the math real quick. Let's say $20,000 times 429, you would have made $8.5 million. That's why value investing works even during a crash, because that's the best time you buy everything at a discount. So we had one of our customers in the professional plan on tokenmetrics.com send us an email just thanking us, saying about a year ago he put $80,000 into Matic Network Polygon, and it became worth almost $10 million. Just think about that, almost $10 million. This is why you say cryptocurrency is the largest generational transfer in human history. It's the largest wealth transfer in human history, because you can get returns like this, but you have to be willing to find this in times like this when everything is crashing. So going back here to Helium, this is a video I put up on Helium. This was also back in 2018, I believe. Actually, 2019, apologies. Actually, this was 2018, but we posted the video 2019. Yeah, because I think it was a pretty long bear market. Just think about this, because we were in China during our crypto world tour, and I went to see the Helium offices to meet Frank Monk. This is that's their B-roll. This was in August 2018, but the video came out 2019. We kind of took almost over 6 months to put out the video. But anyway, that's besides the point, right? What really matters is this video was covered in 2019, which by whatever measure you want to use was not really a bull market. Not everything was going up. I mean, this is the Helium device back then, right? I viewed this device at the offices. They're building it. It had no container around it. It was just the chip. And I said, this is the future, right? This is going to be a great project. And if we go to Helium Network, this has been the second project we covered during the crash back in 2018, 2019, that's done over 100x return, I believe. And so looking at this, the all-time low right now, even despite the crash, all-time low was 11 cents. But if you've been mining this, your cost basis is lower than that, because we covered this before the token even launched. So basically, it went from 11 cents all-time low to the all-time high was $20.86. Right now it's dropped about 50% in 2 months. But imagine if you got into this at 20 cents and went to $20. That's 100x. That's not one, but 200x projects during the crash of 2018 and 2019. And these projects, even during the crash, we were still researching these projects, trying to find the next 100x, the next project. And I bring this up because the title of the stream is How to Make Millions in Crypto During a Crash. Right? So now that you know this is doable, right? Based on Helium, based on Polygon, now we're going to repeat this market cycle after this crash, right? The market has crashed, 50%, whatever. We're going to find the same process and same projects that will hopefully give us the same level of returns.
Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.